And welcome back to the OCE Championship for League Play 3. And welcome all you international audience peoples. My name's Jake Becco. This is David Yummy Cheeseman Lane, Alex Wolfie Foldy. And we're back now for Ground Zero taking on Order with Drop Bears in the mix.
Both of these guys are trying to get out of the gutter as well. They've both taken losses to teams that they really shouldn't have, considering we're expecting maybe both would be in the top 4.
We really have to stop making excuses for Ground Zero, though, because we thought they were going to do a lot better than they are, and they're sitting
straight
bottom
into
of the ladder.
Wolfie, you've been here on like 30 seconds straight into
You're
it.
terrible. What are you
That's
even
exactly
doing?
what I'm saying. They're Yummy's words, not mine.
So what's wrong?
They lost Game 5 overtime last week.
Yep.
It was so close, up against SYF. They were really evenly matched. And they just feel like they're completely lacking in their attack.
Clearly, though, Lim is the biggest standout player on that team. The other two, in all honesty, and I'll be a little bit brutal here, they have let Lim down. Lim is playing phenomenally right now. It's like when you play up against the Chiefs, is every time they go for a pass or a shot, you're like, oh, is this going to go anywhere near the net? And if it's not Lim hitting those, then all the other players are like, oh, it'll miss.
You don't expect that.
Well, this is Ground Zero not living up to expectations. They beat Tainted Minds 3-0 in the group qualifier. They're good. When they get their passes going, they're great, but every single time they're playing against someone, they haven't been able to get those passes. They're rushing their touches. They're looking for the shot. You're seeing it. Walcott has the least goals per game. CJM the least shots per game. Between those two, they're going solo too much, and it's all Lim. 1.3 goals out of 2 for the entire team.
For me, it's not just Ground Zero. Order itself, I was expecting them to be hella hype. I thought they were going to be right up the top.
Poor start in week 1 and 2. And where's this kind of gone? What's wrong with Order
It feels
at the
like
moment?
nerves for both the teams as well. Ground Zero in terms of taking shots immediately. Order, we know Zen coming in from the 7th team of Avant last season to here. He's got so many more expectations, and he wasn't able to live up to them.
Speaking of expectations, though, Dumbo, for me, was one of those players who we have consistently seen been so close to making it overseas, and I feel like he's just really underperformed right now.
Yeah, he's not having the best season either, and this has to be the turnaround point. I think whoever loses this is basically done for the season in terms of coming top 4.
I think this makes it a bit more nail-biter, and if Order were performing as expected, this would be a bit cut and dry. But, Wolfie, let's start with you. Where do you sit in this matchup?
Rationally looking at this, Order do look like the better team.
Yeah, because you're so brutal with Ground Zero. Why would you bet on
I
them?
go straight for the jugular, right? So, Order, they are playing a bit faster than Ground Zero right now, and I really like that it's going to work in this matchup, but against a better team, it just won't exactly work.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very tough match. It could go either way because it's all down to nerves for me, but Order have that more experienced roster. They have that speed that is going to force Ground Zero to not be able to get those passes once again. So I have to give it to Order.
Look, I'm going to sit on Order as well. I was thinking about sitting with Ground Zero because we know Jake, who can't join us here today, unfortunately, is actually sitting with Ground Zero on this one. So
I was very close. I was tossing up between the week, and it was just that one fact that I know Order play really fast.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that took it out.
But I think if Order do not find their comfortability in this series, then I see a 3-2 potentially going towards Ground Zero.
It's going to be closer than we think. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be a complete whitewash, but it will definitely be close.
Well, let's find out. Let's jump on in. Order taking on Ground Zero. And it might be close, but let's see how Order are performing.
Who can keep their season hopes alive as it's Order versus Ground Zero, both at the bottom of the ladder, both with the chance to climb out.
Important for Ground Zero, this game number 1. We see it defines games here. Jules gets the demo onto himself. Walcott just runs through, and I guess the performance also starts with Walcott here in this first game.
Walcott really struggled last week, but he's already getting more involved, finding those pass plays, and it's that passing position that they've really struggled with.
Maybe the speed has something to do with it as well. Order punching forward once again. CJM, he'll just lock the ball up, but Dumbo gets a second try. Walcott, not the optimal touch, but it will count as a save there as Ground Zero stuck on the defense here a little
40
bit.
seconds in the defense, so much pressure from Order. No clears coming out from Ground Zero, and when will they break?
Well, Jules just runs forward, another save going over to CJM there. Order making sure that breakage comes from them. 1-0 to Dumbo.
Like a wave crashing over and over again. Order just completely pummeled the Ground Zero defense. They couldn't hold against it, and Dumbo in the end gets almost a free goal.
Now, Order saying life's the beach, and right now 4 minutes left in the game. The first goal, Order take control.
Time for them to relax, just lay out on the sand. Order have looked incredible in attack the entire time. They still haven't seen their own defensive half.
The revitalizing of this squad, very important here. Off the roof now, running out of boost, but Zen comes back in. Haven't seen too much, but the ground pinch saved away by Lim, the outstanding member of Ground Zero. Let's see how they get active as a clear finally comes through from Ground Zero.
First attack for Ground Zero. Can they complete it? It's just passed out immediately, and it looks like it will become a pressure play.
CJM will clear it wide, but what can Lim do with it? Bring it to a standstill, doesn't look like it. Over to Dumbo, he wins it through the net, almost finding the goal.
That 50 from Dumbo is his classic play. That's how he gets it up the pitch. He takes it past one, he 50s the next one, and he puts so much effort into that to win each one.
Dumbo showing control here. Jules with a pinch on the defensive half. Order now. This is becoming a bit more consistent for Ground Zero. Able to get freedom on the ball. 3 minutes left remaining. Ground Zero still on the attack, but it's slow.
So they haven't really got a shot here. That is dangerous. This is the pass across. The shot is on. CJM scores.
Just dunks it down. Finally, Ground Zero use that breathing room, and Lim again with the setup.
Beautiful play. You saw it happening a mile away. Lim was looking like he was going to take a shot, but then takes it high, and that's what opens up the net.
Looks more controlled, bit more consistent on the ball. Ground Zero equalizing at the 3-minute mark. We said it was going to be close. Zen almost carries the ball through the kickoff. Jules now on the defense. A miss by Walcott. Lim recovers it. The pass to the center. Walcott up nicely, but Zen with the clear away.
Normally you'd see CJM there, but this season he hasn't been aggressive. He's been too much stuck on the defense.
Oh,
and that cost him there.
Great shot there by the midfielder of Ground Zero. Dumbo will save it, and Ground Zero keep it up. Now finally matching the pace of Order.
And you saw Lim. He bumped it out. There is just Jules left. Just enough to save, but Ground Zero still have the opportunity.
Lim all the way back. Ground Zero now on the defense. The opportunity cuts as Melbourne Order push it forward. Zen to the standstill. 2 minutes 20 remaining. CJM finally clearing the ball away once again. Ground Zero warming up in this first game.
This is starting to be a very close game, and in an indicator, a massive mistake comes out from Order, and Ground Zero are taking the lead.
But look at Walcott, he commits forward for the ball, and finally, this player of Ground Zero gets something on the board.
It's so important for Walcott, the confidence, but Zen, he was the one that made the mistake. How is he feeling right now?
Not expected out of Zen, someone who individually is just very confident in his play. For Lim now, he feels that confidence himself. He pushes forward. Ground Zero, 2-1 up on the board. And Order, we said this is a potential upset. Zen comes through, but Lim again, saving grace for Ground Zero, turns it into a play for CJM, and they're not done just yet. Lim,
the rookie of the season so far, has held on. This is a chance for Zen to bring it back, but saved out by Walcott, who has picked up his game.
Yeah, good read on the ball there. Jules still comes in. They think there's something with this play. Melbourne Order continuing forward, but the demo onto Dumbo stops it immediately. Zen forward, can't find the goal. Walcott with the savior medal, and already seeing improvement in game one.
Finally, we're getting Order back in that attack, finding those pressure plays, but not getting the passes across, not really setting up something big. But
Zen.
It's still going to crawl past. Zen finding the gap.
A little bit worrisome when you saw Jules go over the ball here, but it was eventually completed by Zen.
It worked out so well for them as well. They thought Jules was going to get that touch. They had to wait, and that's what opened up the net for Zen.
So Order playing those mind games, walking forward now to a 2-all at 1 minute 20 remaining. This game is heating up. I don't know what a game is. A game. It's heating up in game one.
Thinking of the gym, I think.
Yeah, no, close enough. Walcott off that wall. What can Ground Zero do? They're in the defense here, so CJM, he'll get the pinch, but Jules there to respond. A pass over to Zen. Walcott here. This is the ball.
60 seconds left on the
Lim up for it, a minute remaining. Now on the defense again, Jules, can he keep it? No. CJM all the way to Walcott. The pass is good, the bounce is there. Lim is not up though, and Zen just gets a freebie. Dumbo there, a standstill. Jules won't receive it. Lim's received the pass. It's been popped up, and this creative play from Ground Zero is getting intimidating.
They went all the way back. They gave themselves tons of time, and normally that's bad. But this time, they were able to capitalize. Jules, the shot is on. Walcott jumps over Dumbo and makes the save at the same time.
Finally, waking up, Ground Zero's Walcott is back in the heat of things. 1 minute has passed, and we've got 30 seconds remaining. Lim there on the defensive. CJM punches it out. Ground Zero holding on, and we're looking at overtime as a potential for game one.
This is the Walcott we needed to see every season. Is this the Walcott that can take down Order, can take down the team that I thought was going to come top 3 at the start of the season?
Maybe he clears that one again, and Order are in the thick of things, but I'm not sure they can find too much. Lim will come around the corner, the drop down, Order bring it to overtime, and that's what we want want to see.
It is so close, and it just comes down to one mistake. Expect the nerves to go up tenfold in this overtime.
Order have started on the defense. That's what Ground Zero want. The clear will come back over, and suddenly the pressure continues. Ground Zero holding standstill in this midfield. Lim takes the ball away, pushing forward. Jules is going to stick around for a little bit, but CJM comes in. Zen with the touch, crucial there, but Lim pops it up. It's for Walcott. Dumbo goes higher though. 30 seconds, a pass to Zen. Down it goes. Order secure game one.
It's such a crucial boost pickup for Zen. It just spawned underneath him. It gets him enough boost to go up for this, and the counter-attack ends up being how Order win the game.
The faster play, Order 3-2, game one, but boy, was that close.
I hope every single game goes like that. That is the first overtime out of 4 they've gone through this season. More than 33% of their games have gone to overtime. It's the first one they won.
But hey, let's take a step back, Yummy Cheese Man. I want to talk about one player from Ground Zero. Finally, I want to talk about Walcott.
He's just found exactly where he needs to be. He's really good in defense right here. Part of it involves the fact that he's always been used to rotating all the way back.
Yep.
Getting into that defense, taking that boost, and sometimes to the detriment of the attack. But that is where he's really performed today.
But now we can look at Walcott realistically, and in this series say that all elements of Ground Zero feel like they're working together better, and that's why this could be a potential upset.
They're still really missing those passes. Every single thing was off the backboard, not really those diagonals, those cross fields.
So almost everything's working together.
Yeah, that's been their downfall all season so far, and you can expect it against Order, who do play faster, but they need to find that. That's how they're going to open up the net and score those goals. Like we saw Order when they did it with Jules finishing off that.
Because they started on the attack. Melbourne Order started on the attack. They controlled it for about 1:30 in the start of that game. It was ridiculous.
They had so much of that possession. The first 2.5 minutes, I think they had one shot against them. And it completely turned around by the end. Ground Zero did make a comeback here.
Yep.
So going into the next game, maybe Ground Zero have a bit more foothold.
I think we can look at Order, though, with that one-game advantage and see how they adapt. Game 2 right now. And Order in the swing of things, but Ground Zero definitely putting on their best shoes here and see how much better they can get.
We'll find out. Can Ground Zero turn their entire season around? Every card is against them. 0-3. They are looking to go 1-3, but if they're 0-4, that's basically their season over.
Yep. This is an important series for them. Dumbo pops it up over the net. Jules will keep it in play, but Ground Zero, they're just getting it away right now. Lim on the defense, not a really big clear. Order again shutting it down. 4 minutes 30, only 30 seconds. Different start here for Ground Zero and Order. On the defense again, Dumbo pops it there. Jules gets a touch, it's to the center. A very dangerous pass, but Zen gets there first. Now for Dumbo, a good clearance, a shot high. Walcott will get it around the backboard, but Jules brings it back in. Lim there with the touch, not a good one. Jules pops it down, but CJM saves it away.
Just enough, but they are only holding on, and they have no boost left. Just Walcott remaining. Thankfully, Jules backs off, which is going to give them a bit more time, but the shot is going to rain in.
I love a good shot when I see one. A minute's passed now from that corner. Zen comes through again. Dumbo still punching the ball forward. Zen has run out of boost, though, so the play comes to a standstill. Ground Zero still on the defense, though, and Order unrelenting here in this game 2 as well.
But they're not able to finish it off. They back off when they run out of boost and not when Ground Zero run out. They need to hold on, keep that pressure on until they can open up the net.
30s. CJM comes forward. It's Lim as well. CJM on the back. We'll just clear it away from Dumbo's shot. Again, Order still playing with the ball. CJM doesn't get the pass. Dumbo intercepts off that backboard. The clearance finally comes forward. Zen scoops it away. Walcott wins it. CJM takes it. And Ground Zero on the ball.
The infield pass works. They get it to CJM. Walcott finding this past Zen. And that has opened up the net. Ground Zero are now in the lead.
That's also opened up game number 2. Ground Zero with 1. One play was all it took, and Walcott again, now really working into fruition.
It really just feels like moments of brilliance, but they need to string it together for all 5 minutes. Can Ground Zero keep it up?
Well, looks like they stuck in the defense once again. Not the place they want to be. Melbourne Order pushing again, running out of time. The dribble here from Zen does nothing with it, but Jules sneaks it away. The third player's coming in. It's Dumbo for the dunk down. Lim and Walcott, again, the backboard hit there by Zen. The pinch forward, save after save. Lim this time. Order keep punishing forward, but they have to pull back. CJM on the solo play, but Zen coming in around the corner. He's taken the boost, and it looks like Order will defuse the situation.
So frustrating for Order as well. They've had so many shots, but they keep hitting it straight at the defender, who is on the back foot, but able to save it out. And now it is just going to give Ground Zero the time to recoup.
That's a good touch there from CJM. Everyone comes forward from Order. Time is what they need. Ground Zero playing well with it. 2 minutes 10 remaining. Zen up for the ball. The pop there denied from Elim. The dunk down. Jules goes wide. Walcott now on the defense. Been handling himself well. Dumbo, the touch is slide. It works out.
What? Dumbo just grinds this along the wall, and he gets the help of the Ground Zero defense. He just manages to get it across. Lim not there, and Zen ends up putting it in.
Finally equalizing. Order have made this interesting once again. 2 minutes remaining there, Yummy.
How close can these games be? It really feels like they're holding onto their pants as they try desperately to score the goals, and that's happening at both ends.
I wonder who's going to buy the belt first. Ground Zero able to punch the ball forward once again. We want to see those plays strung together. You've asked for it. Consistency here from Ground Zero. 145, they're in front of net. But Order, another big boomer of a clip.
Boom, and that's not enough. They need to get more power. They need to find each other as well. Because right now, Order are starting to take control of the game.
It's the perfect ball for Order. They bring it around to this wing once again. Dumbo doesn't walk forward, but a light touch. Ground Zero playing with fire. Lim, the shot directly on net. An easy save for Dumbo, but they're not done with Ground Zero still in this goal square, trying to deny the clear. It's Lim again. It's the backboard. It's bouncing down. The shot available, but no one's forward. Everyone up from Melbourne Order. The shot again denied.
And they're trying to take it solo. You saw the opportunities were there, but it wasn't about 1 and 2. It was about Lim just trying to finish it off by himself.
Everyone's pushed all the way back. The play denied by Ground Zero, and this time Order off the roof. It's Dumbo, and it's Walcott with the save once more. The shot not available. Order denied. This one's bouncing though. Zen's run out of boost, and CJM will try and clear this ball.
The clock is ticking down now to that overtime, and that could lead to Ground Zero having to play again for their tournament lives.
And really, at this point, Ground Zero cannot afford to lose this game. This will lead Order into match point, and 30 seconds remaining for them to make that one crucial play. Otherwise, overtime, which didn't favor them last time, is going to hit them hard.
And they're backing off every single time on attack. They're nervous to go in. They don't want to go for it. A good pass across, but it gets intercepted.
So Walcott intercepting the ball himself once again. 15 seconds. Order up for the play. This is going to be the last one, it looks like, before overtime. Seems imminent at this point. The demolition there, what can be achieved, but Dumbo doesn't get the ball. Zen, the pass through. Jules is here. Shot doesn't come through. It was an inch off, but we're into overtime once again.
Such a tough angle for Jules. He could have finished it right then and there. But now it's the 6th overtime for Order.
Oh, Jules takes a shot. It's wide. Lim was there to save anyway, and off the kickoff, things start well for Order. 10 seconds in, 2 saves already, and Walcott just has to get the ball out of here.
This is a good opportunity. It's 2v1. Walcott goes wide. He had the open shot. He had the pass, and he goes for neither.
Unfortunately, Ground Zero opportunity wasted there. We continue with overtime. Ground Zero sticking in the midfield. CJM goes up for it. Needs a second touch. Dumbo misses his. Zen commits forward. Walcott now off the side of the wall. Order haven't found the clear just yet. They've given breathing room to Ground Zero. The wide pass, but no one's up.
CJ and Lim were all the way back, and now Zen, he finds these angles, but not this time.
Order still getting so much room here. The pinch goes wide again. This time it's Dumbo with the head-to-head play.
This is where the nerves really get to you. Every single time, 2 members of Ground Zero rotating back. It's going to be so hard for them to score as the demos roll out from Order.
Confidence to pass that from Melbourne Order. The ball dunked down. It's wide from Jules. Hits the bar, bounces back out. Zen hits it away. This time CGM gets the big clear. Dumbo for the response, but what can Lim do with it? He gets it through Zen, but Jules the last member.
Back touch really meant to be a pass. This should be it. Zen squeezes it through past the defender. Order take game 2.
Confidence definitely on Order's side this time. They'll take another overtime win, and Ground Zero coming so close yet so far.
And Order were the ones pushing up. Zen had that confidence to move so far forward, and that is what gave them the edge over Ground Zero. After losing every single overtime coming in today, they've taken 2 in a row.
Ground Zero have to be fretting right now. We were complimenting them at the start. We were talking them up both in this game and the last, and now it's kind of falling apart.
And they just can't get that possession. They can't spend any amount of time in their opponent's half because they go all the way back. They just defend, and that there's no third man in that rotation to keep the ball in. It means that Order are able to get it out and keep it there. That's also why it's been a low-scoring affair so far.
And I think risk-taking here might actually favour Ground Zero. I mean, go all or nothing, especially in Game 3.
Yeah.
I want to see more risk taken.
I keep seeing these times where there should be a pass, and they kind of go halfway. They go for this big clear because they're scared of that risk. It is risky to go for that crossfield. You don't know when you're going to get intercepted.
Yeah.
But you have to go for it every now and again, especially if you have the time.
And when they get these goals, though, it feels like these passes are being... the risks, are being taken.
Yep.
It's just confidence out of Ground Zero when they need it most.
Now they're
then it
one
falls.
game away from potentially just basically being knocked out.
Yeah, 0-4.
You're 0-4, and especially with a 0-3, it's going to be so hard to even get into the tiebreaker in the first place.
When you've taken losses against teams like Chimpwits, especially when it goes to Game 5, when you come so close, that's the heartbreaker here.
Yeah, they still haven't versed Legacy yet as well.
Yep.
They need to beat both of those teams in essence to get through. That's a tough one. Order feeling good. Order trying to make the comeback after losing to Avant week 1. It was a really, really tough loss. And even their win against Justice was an overtime. And then they took a 0-3 to Chiefs. They're not having the best season, but this is the way that they can turn that around.
I think a good start from Order, especially when you go up against Avant. I'm sure that matchup will come through maybe later as well, or that head-to-head could be a huge part of it. Order need this badly. A 3-0 confidence booster as well against Ground Zero. That's how they move back into league play.
And that Game 2 was much better than the Game 1 for them. It really felt like in Game 1, they were making mistakes, and that's what led to them getting scored against twice. In Game 2, it felt close. There was a mistake here or there, but it felt so much tighter. And especially because they're trying to rotate well, it means that they're able to hold out the opposition and just eke out these wins.
Against Ground Zero, that's all that matters. Even if it's slight, we're going to see if Order can do it once again. Game number 3 now, Order on match point and multiples of that.
We'll find out, can Order finish this off? Because Ground Zero could get the reverse sweep and keep their hopes alive.
Well, they've had an opportunity to do so, but now they've put themselves in a difficult position. Walcott on the defense. Lim will clear it away. Possession, an important part of Ground Zero here. Walcott keeps it forward. Lim, that's going in. Ground Zero off to a flying start.
They take out 1, they take out 2, and then Ground Zero have opened up the net because of all of Order are out of the play.
Okay, Walcott, you've started out strong. Let's see that continue forward. One mistake, let's see more plays.
Even though there was no defender as well, Lim was looking to take out anyone to come back to net.
Taking those risks as well. Lim just dunks this one. Dumbo with the save, top of the net. Ground Zero coming close once again, but this is the freedom we wanted to see. 30 seconds apart. CJM takes another shot. Dumbo saves this one. Lim there with the pass, denied by Jules. And Order staying on the defensive. That's not where they want to be, of course, but Order not really having a choice right here. Lim coming forward, committing is Ground Zero.
Yeah, I'm not sure as well why Order was staying so slow. Dumbo just waiting for so long. It's opened up the net as well. Walcott gets the second goal for him.
Ground Zero pushing forward, and though Order look a bit out of sorts here in this Game 3, it's good to see Ground Zero still able to get these goals.
This is the biggest lead that Ground Zero have had. They are bringing this back, and if they can win this one convincingly, they're going to really rattle Order in the next game.
But let's see if they can keep that up, I mean, because 4 minutes, and Order have shown they're not shy to take us into overtime. The third time in a row, who knows? But
what's really important is if they do this, it can shake up Zen. He'll go hyper-aggressive, thinking, oh, I'm behind, we need to score a goal, and it could lead to a blowout.
Order pushing forward again, the opportunity's there, but Zen's on the side, this time denied. CJM and Lim help clear that away. Dumbo off the backboard once again, but some small touches here from Ground Zero. Zen, however, gets an advantage, pops it down. The pass denied, and Lim gets it out.
From Lim as well. He read that play perfectly, because that was a brilliant pass coming down.
Yeah. Opportunities there for Order, but Ground Zero on top of it right now. Lim there meets up with Zen, but Zen says howdy. and pops it away. Jules, the ball goes over him. Zen, again, the pass is wide to Dumbo, off the corner. Who's it for? It's Jules. Dumbo comes back in, the shot's there. Walcott denies. 3 minutes left remaining though, Yummy for Zen. Can he keep the ball down here? Order. He hasn't run out of boost, but that's a massive clear. CJM's there as well. The dunk down. Ground zero on top of things.
The perfect shot from CJM. Big clears coming out from Lim. CJM, this is where he needs to live. He's best in attack, and he just finds the bar down ski.
Absolute insanity there from CJM. 3 minutes, 3 goals. Ground zero, is this the start? I think so. Order have a big task ahead of them here, let alone in this game 3.
There's still 3 minutes remaining for Order to try and bring this back, to figure out their play style, but they're just getting beaten out to the ball. What a save from Lim.
Comes close, Order really unhappy about that one, but Lim, a fantastic save, keeps Ground Zero in a position of comfort. The clear away again, and Order just really running out of time here. Time might have just not even be a factor here as Ground Zero continue to push forward.
It feels like they're rushed. They're just trying so hard to be aggressive. That could lead them to get scored on even more.
For Ground Zero, they haven't found the clear. Is this an opportunity for Order? Zen's run out of boost. Jules is there, dribble forward, but Zen has no boost to push into that net. Lim, save your medal for him.
That's how hard they're willing to commit. Without zero boost, he had no time to recover to get back to defense. It just so happened that Ground Zero didn't have enough either.
More shots coming out of Lim though. Ground Zero, you're gonna have to recover boost once again. Walcott's run out, CJM hanging back, Lim there with the clear. Backboard, no touch there whatsoever, but Ground Zero don't find the touch they need either. The steal away from Walcott.
Lim took that away from CJM. CJM had the shot, he wanted the double and it doesn't work out. You know, it's lucky because they're, well, not lucky, they're 3-0 ahead, so opportunities like that don't matter too much.
You can play around a little bit. Walcott just sends that one right down the center.
Order are just never looking at their net. Even at the start of this game, the one that rolled in, they're not looking to defend the net, and Walcott just strikes into empty space.
Getting away with murder here, and someone needs to look at this game and say, what is going on? Ground Zero starting to fight their way back, but Order not in the way we thought.
I feel like over these 2 or 3 games so far, I'm pretty sure Walcott has now more than doubled his goals.
Yeah, I think Walcott's doubled a lot of his stats over this series, let alone throughout the past couple of weeks. Improvement here from Ground Zero. Can they keep that throughout the series? The setup again. Ground Zero have all but secured this game number 3.
Looks like it, 1 minute left, and that's a tough ask for Order. Not going to be enjoying that one as Ground Zero, when they put them on the back foot like this, it gives them the chance to really take a stranglehold of the series.
But at least that stranglehold loosens a little bit with Order getting 1 goal. Now, improvement to see out of Order, yes, we want it, but it's going to have to start in game 4.
It feels like the same recipe that Ground Zero got to take the goals as well. Order just seeing the open net, Ground Zero not looking at defense, and Dumbo gets to go.
All right, well, see what Dumbo could do in game number 4. Ground Zero still able to push up here, and the story of Ground Zero here, they need this series win. Everything is on the line. If they lose this series, the chances of them going to finals is all but denied, all but 0.
Even Order are the same part. They need this win, in essence, to make top 4. They're in a slightly better position, but still, it's a tough ask if they lose.
And they took losses against Savant Gaming when they only managed to beat Justice Esports. Order looking for a better improvement of their season. And right here, right now in game 3, we're seeing that same performance that has let them down. So for Ground Zero, props to them for breaking through the gaps. But Order have to pick it up in game number 4, otherwise we're going the distance.
And it really feels like Ground Zero, they didn't really get a lot of passes. They got that first one at the start of this series, of this game. But instead, they're just opting to keep it clean, wait for Order to make a mistake, and then punish.
And speaking of the devil, Lim will punish that ball just that little bit more. All right, Ground Zero, let's keep it up.
5-1, that's a really convincing win. Considering the last 2 went to overtime, they've taken this very cleanly, and it's a good sign coming in that we might be starting to see the reverse sweep.
And although the score doesn't really justify how the game's been so far, 2-1. Now we go forward, and we said it's going to be close. Is it going to be that close?
I think it will be. I still think that this game will really be the match decider. If Order take it, obviously they win. But if Ground Zero take it, all of a sudden, Order in that position that we've seen Dumbo in so many times. He's in the lead, 2 games ahead, and they're like, okay, we'll just take it easy. And when they do that, they no longer, feel as tight as they used to. They get reverse sweep. Maybe Dumbo is more reverse sweepable than any other player.
I think when we talk about Dumbo, it doesn't matter what happens, we always bring this up, that he's always in tight situations and he struggles to break out of it. But is this a change in a roster? Is the change in the roster, enough to break free of Ground Zero's hold?
Well, this is what I'm looking at with this roster. They are experienced players, but they're 3 of the ones that have kind of been more sitting back on their teams. Dumbo, under Darksided, well, that was their big weakness.
Yeah.
And then you have Zen and Jules, who are more the followers, so they're just going to fit into that same format once again.
Yeah, of course, Jules replacing Kia there originally on the Pale Horse roster. Now Tainted Minds, not Tainted Minds. The Shuffle's huge if you haven't been paying attention.
And these are the 2 teams that are underperforming throughout this season. We'll have to see, going into game number 4, who can take out this series, who can climb the ladder to the top.
Higher expectations on Order, but Ground Zero, they will meet those requirements if they can take out this game and potentially this series. Game 4 begins and Ground Zero want to get off the defense. Let's see if Order actually start playing as they were. Dumbo, nice dribble, I guess.
Sneaky and fakes out the flick. He looked like he was going to go up and over, but instead goes to the left, and Walcott did not see it coming. It was a tough ask because both of his teammates from Ground Zero had already committed to the ball.
But what a start, finally. Finally, Order get that first goal.
They got the first goal in the first game as well, and that is what they ended up using to win. So a good chance for them in this game.
Now Ground Zero put into a corner. Match point for Order still. Only game 4 for them. Dumbo against that backboard. Zen will get demoed. But Jules around here as well. Pass is great. Dumbo locks it in past 3 defenders.
Beautiful. Where was this Order the rest of the series? They find this brilliant pass. Jules not just gets that across, but he gets it back out away from the defense.
And what's the word I'm looking? Ingenious play. I'll stick with that. Order with 2 goals.
He smarted good.
He smarted so good. Ground Zero in a difficult position. Zen. Now I was going to say something I should have. He's going freely through the air. And Order, position of power with those 2 goals. They're staying in the attack as well.
It really feels like they have the opportunity now to just do what Ground Zero did to them. They're 2-0 in the lead. They could be able to run away with this game.
The dribble in front of net. Walcott there into the goal square. Opportunity for Ground Zero. Can they find it? CGM says yes.
Brilliant from CJM, brilliant from Ground Zero. Just a little bit of pressure is all it takes. And CJM, I love this touch to get that over the top of the defender. Zen didn't know where to go.
Ground Zero right back into the swing of things. Something I say a lot, but I think in this series it makes the most sense. Ground Zero only 1 away. A lot of time.
And we saw Walcott make the mistake earlier. If he doesn't make any more, then we'll see more of those goals from Ground Zero.
They're right in front of net again. Can Walcott switch things up, get right back into the swing again? Zen, that one goes wide, but it's not the ideal touch there from Lim. In front of net, Walcott clears it away. It's
not
just
only
Jules.
that, he gets it behind Jules. He can't get the clear, and that's setting up a great opportunity. CJM very optimistic on that one.
And Walcott as well, who missed the ball. Now opportunity just goes right back to Order. Slow to the ball, Zen. Wants to take the dribble into Lim, but the challenges, the bumps. Zen just gets pushed up the backside and right in front of net again. Order, an easy one to take.
I can't believe that worked out. The pinball gets Zen to hit that ball. Dumbo lands perfectly to win out against Walcott, and it's an open net. That is RNG if I've ever seen it.
That's such a feels bad for Ground Zero as well, because you're like, no way this works.
How can you expect that? You're not looking at Dumbo to come and rear-end his own teammate.
But it worked out anyway, and that's all that matters. So Order getting, again, ingenuity with their play.
Ingenuity is certainly a way to say it.
Yeah. Well, Order still the defensive. They push forward. Can they get more of these plays? A slight save from Lim, but Dumbo outsmarts again. Lim with the double save.
He went for the slow touch, and that was so good, but he didn't have the boost to finish it off.
Feels like Order now, though, they are being smarter with their plays. They're being more controlled, and Ground Zero scrambling for the ball a little bit more. Lim loses possession again. Jules pops it over the top, and Melbourne Order are now pushing back once again. Zen gets it through. And Lim has to scruff.
And Order are just challenging everything. They're preventing them from getting out of defense. And if it wasn't for that rough touch from Jules, they would be back in attack.
2 minutes 30. More rough touches coming forward, I'm sure. From Jules. The slow ball into Walcott. Zen there with the high. Melbourne Order keeping it around the midfield. Walcott opportunity, but no one's there. Everyone up into the midfield. Everyone going aggressive here from ground zero. Slight touch. Zen saves it away. Walcott drops it down. But CJM there to receive.
Lim keeps being that player that ground zero needs. He's the one that's willing to play with zero boost. You see him just going and having an effect on the play instead of rotating all the way back. A lot of miscommunication there. They weren't sure who was meant to go for that ball.
But everyone went up for it, so no worries. Someone found it eventually. Order back on the defense, though, so it looks like ground zero. Find the favorable touch. Lim.
That was a greedy play from Lim as well. He really wanted to go for that boost. Instead of just hitting the ball, it has cost him opportunity.
CGM can't find his own boost right now. Now the clear through. Order might be able to find this. A save by Walcott, as then just leaves it to Jules now, back around the corner. Order, their time, their money. 1 minute 30.
Chance for Order now to just really seal the deal. They've got the attack. They've got the open net. Zen, he hits the corner and it goes in.
A beauty from Zen. A great way to, some would say, finish it out with little time remaining. I think it's been a while since Zen's got a midfield shot like that.
It was such a risky demo as well to go for, but they went for it. They committed, and it paid off as Walcott was looking to get back onto the attack.
Minute 20, ground zero in a bad predicament right here. I have to say, what looked good in Game 3, what has looked good and close over the past couple of games, is now looking very dire.
It's not going to be easy for ground zero. They've got 1 minute to try and keep their tournament hopes alive.
Order can deny that as well as much as possible. They're sticking around this corner, wasting as much time as possible. Walcott getting the clear away, but it's denied again. He's run out of boost off that back wall. CJM will pop it high. Who can receive it? It's Lim. The bounce down.
No.
Walcott misses it, and Dumbo saves it. Lim can't reposition as he gets demoed, and ground zero one play could have cost them.
I can't believe it. Walcott had such a good start to the series, but this is the Walcott we saw last week. Those little mistakes. It cost them the first goal against them. It cost them a potential comeback, and Order have secured it. They're going to go 2-2 in league play. They have plenty of opportunity now to get into that top four.
Right back in Order, the expectations. We reevaluate, we sit there and we say, welcome back to league play, Order, but for ground zero, we're going to have to say goodbye. Could be a fair shake of the sauce bottle there.
It was so much more important that they took this 3-1, anything better than 3-2. The first week, they only just took down Justice. They lost to Avant. They needed a convincing win, and it was a tough start to the series with 2 close games. But now, this is where they put their stamp on the competition.
It's unfortunate, but Order, they need this so badly. A 5-1 to end it here. The ball rolls across, and Order with a 3-1 against ground zero.
A brilliant game to finish off the series.
Series was right. Brilliant series as well,
The
I think.
start to that series, I thought it was going to be close the entire way, and it was still reasonably close, but Order very convincingly taking it at the end. And most importantly, Dumbo wasn't struggling this week. I felt like we had a much bigger performance from him.
I think for Dumbo, look, there was highlights there. Let's start with ground zero, Wolfie, because game 1 and 2 were very close.
You want to talk about ground zero
Oh,
first?
yeah, sure.
Let's go. My favorite team. So they always started in the lead. We saw in those first 3 games, right, it was a lot of the time they'd shoot an early goal, and then it was either whether that Order could retaliate quickly or whether they'd just fall behind. And especially in game 3, it all just fell apart on the side of Order.
That it did.
I really have to talk about Order over ground zero in this matchup, because I felt like it was always their game, regardless of how ground zero played, because Jules played so much better in that last game, and there was a huge contrast between those first 3 games and the last one.
Well, Order really had control of the possession. They were the one who would get the ball into your half, take all of your boost, and try and open up the net. And we're still missing that key element of ground zero, which is the defensive passes to get the clear.
And we didn't see those aggressive bullying in net that we're used to from Order in the first 2 games. There was none of it at all. And then when it came to the 3rd and 4th game, although it was a complete whitewash, you know, on the side of ground zero, Order were mixing it up. They wanted to be bullying in net. They wanted to change it up because those first 2 games were so close.
They were. And I thought it would set a tone for the rest of the series,
Yeah.
but I think Order kind of picked up where they should have been, or at least where our expectations again should have been.
And they've been, I think, 40% of Order's games now have been in overtime. That's how close they keep cutting it.
To me, this whole entire matchup felt like a tennis match where each individual game went so close and always went to, the juice and the further on from that.
Yeah.
But then the total game score is a 3-1 and you can
Love
look
the
at it and be
juice,
like,
yeah.
oh, it was a pretty one-sided. But in essence, it actually wasn't.
To me, it felt like a soccer match, to be quite honest. But look, that's Rocket League for you. A big congratulations to Order before we go to that break, because I think this now sets a tone for them moving forward in league play, 2-2.
2-2. They're now just joining that top of the ladder area. Depending on how everyone else goes, their big advantage is the other teams that are playing today that were equal of them are in spots where they're up against their hardest opponents.
Ground Zero, though, are completely out of
Stop
it.
smiling, Wolfie.
We're so happy that Ground Zero have lost.
I let's just say I'm a
Walcott,
little bit
Lim,
happy, okay?
CJM.
I don't feel too happy for Lim,
Do you want
but
me to...
all right,
look,
I'll
on
admit
that
I'm a
note,
bit
though,
toxic.
I think Ground Zero games 1 and 2 were the potential of these players, and Walcott having one of the best series that we've seen so
But he
far.
couldn't hold it the entire 4 games.
No, he couldn't, which is an issue, consistency to be questioned. Wolfie, don't say it. We're going to go to a short break when we return. Justice and Legacy coming up after this.